So we're going to first review the different parts of a circle. Okay, so if I have this picture of a circle, and I wanted to name the name of the circle, I wanted to give the diameter, a radius. Now there's more than one radius, but a radius and a chord. What is the name of this circle? X. It's just, that's all we're saying. The name of the circle is Circle X. Remember yesterday we had Circle K? Alright, diameter. What does diameter mean? And what is it? The distance from one side of the circle to the other, and it has to do what? It has to go through the middle, okay? So again, the diameter is from one side to the other, and it has to go through the center of the circle. So what is the diameter in this picture? So when it's going to be a line segment, okay? When we name a line segment, we need two letters. W, Y. I agree. Good job. So we write that with a line symbol and then W, Y. You could say Y to W. That would be fine. That means the same thing. You do not want X as part of that because, again, we only want to use two letters when we're naming a line segment, and we wouldn't want to say WX because that doesn't go all the way across. WX would only be that piece. XY would only be the piece. And it's not ZY because ZY does not go through the center of the circle. Okay? So diameter has to go through the center. All right, the radius. Who could give me a radius in this circle? Well, first of all, what is a radius? How about we start there? What is a radius? Good. So it's from the center of the circle to one side. So the center is X, and then it's to one side. So give me a radius. Julian. All right, so I could say YX or I could say XY. It doesn't matter which way. They're both correct. They mean the exact same line. XY, YX. What is one other radius? WX. Or I could say XW. Again, same thing. Okay? So it doesn't matter what order you put those two letters in. It refers to the same line. So again, X to W or X to Y would be those radius. Okay? And then a chord, what's the definition of a chord? What's the definition that we talked about yesterday, what a chord is? Keely. Okay, what is the definition of it, though? What makes the chord different than the diameter? Cash. Very good. A chord does not go through the center of a circle. So it goes from one side to another, but it does not go through the center. So we could name this ZY, or we could name it YZ. ZY or YZ means the same thing. All right, so again, those are the parts of the circle. All right, now let's review identifying the radius and diameter. So if I were to give you a picture, and then you have to tell me what is the radius's measurement and what is the diameter's measurement. So again, we reviewed and we said the radius was from the center to one side. So the radius is 7. So what is the diameter then? So the radius is 7. The diameter would be all the way across, which would mean 7 more. 7 plus 7 or 7 times 2. That's how we got the 14. In this picture here, does it show... Hold on, Julian. In this picture here, does it show the radius or diameter? It shows the diameter. Diameter goes all the way across. Okay? Diameter is the bigger word, and this is the longer line. Maybe you remember it like that. Okay? Radius is a shorter word. It has less letters. So it's going a shorter way across the circle. All right, so if the diameter is 16, the radius is... Oh, Julian, hold on. The radius is only going to be halfway across. So how did you get your 8, Julian? Good. So 16 divided by 2, half of that is 8. Edwin. And let me scroll up a little bit. In this picture, does that show the radius or diameter? Okay, I was calling on Edwin. So we have some of the same voices that are shouting at Julian. I feel like you understand how to do this. So if you could give other people a chance, I appreciate you volunteering, but we're giving other people a chance. Okay? So, do you know why this is radius? I mean, I know they've both shouted it out, so. Okay. So, the radius is from the center to one side. So the diameter would go all the way across. Okay, so it's just kind of something that you have to remember. The way that I said that you could remember it is the radius, it's a shorter word, it has less letters than the word diameter. And the radius, since it's a shorter line, you can match up shorter line, shorter word. Okay, so if the radius is 4, then the diameter, Jenna, what would the diameter be? Good. Because the diameter is twice as big as the radius, so it would be 8. That's 4. This would be another 4. 4 plus 4. There we go. Okay. Last question. Charles, is this showing radius or diameter? Diameter. So the diameter is 5. Now this is a tricky one. You can do it. How are we going to do it? We're dividing by 2. We're taking half of it. 2.5. Okay. So now we've practiced identifying the radius and the diameter. To practice finding the circumference. So the circumference is the distance around the circle. So in this picture that I have up here, the black line would represent the circumference, just the black line. The yellow part would represent the area, which we haven't talked about finding yet, but we will. So again, the black line is the circumference. That is the only thing that we're finding, just the distance around these circles. Okay? And the formulas that you're going to use, we wrote those down yesterday, hopefully. But if the circle shows the radius, then you can use this formula. If the circle shows the diameter, then you can use this formula. And we talked yesterday that it does mean the same thing, because since a radius, 2 radii equal 1 diameter, 2 times the radius is a diameter. So it makes sense. We also talked yesterday about what number do we use for pi? 3.14. So that's an estimation of pi. Okay, we're going to use 3.14. So we're going to practice finding the circumference of these circles. So first of all, I want you to tell me, looking at this circle, does it show a radius or diameter? It shows a radius. So the radius is 6. And since this picture shows me a radius, I'm going to write down the formula that involves the radius. Okay? So again, I want you to identify what it is, radius or diameter, and then I want you to write the formula that you were using. So the next thing that I want you to do is then I want you to put in what you know. We don't know circumference. We know 2. We know that pi is, and for this particular problem, we know that the radius is 6. So again, I want you to show me what you're putting into your formula. And when you do your assignment, I want you to write the formula and then show me what you're putting into the formula. And now you can use your calculator. 37 So I'm going to say this again, and it probably won't be the last time I say it. I do not want just answers on the assignment. I want you to write the formula that you're using. I want you to write what you're putting into the formula, and then show me your answer. Okay? And this problem, is this problem picture showing you the radius or diameter? Diameter. So the diameter is 13. So since this picture is showing us the diameter, I'm going to use the formula that has diameter, which is pi times diameter. I don't know circumference yet. I know that pi is 3.14, and I know my diameter in this problem is 13. 40.82. And there it is. So I'm going to say it one more time. I want you to write the formula. I want you to substitute into the formula and show that, and then give me your final answer on your paper. Questions?